Hollywood's golden age brought forth many legends of the 20th century, individuals often celebrated for timeless stories that transcended fame and glamour. However, few know that half of these famous stars lived double lives long before LGBTQ culture emerged to protect their careers. Leave a comment with your thoughts to join us in exploring 25 famous gay stars of classic Hollywood and the reasons behind their deaths. James Dean changed pop culture as the first rebel without a cause. He rose to fame through his roles in East of Eden, Rebel Without a Cause, and Giant, with only 3 films before his untimely death. Born in Indiana, USA, Dean's journey to fame was brief, but he captured the hearts of global audiences through the 3 films he starred in. After his mother passed away, Dean studied drama despite his father's objections, but he dropped out of school to pursue acting full-time. Although Dean dated women, most notably actresses Pier Angeli and Natalie Wood, rumors circulated that he was gay. Dean met radio producer Rogers Brackett, and they lived together for a short time, during which they were sexually involved. Furthermore, Dean's friend Stanley Tager insisted that he had an affair with fellow actor Marlon Brando. James Dean died in a car accident in 1955 while driving his Porsche Spyder. On September 30th, Dean was speeding when he crashed into the passenger side of a Ford, throwing his passenger out of the car. Dean became trapped in the wreckage and suffered fatal injuries, including a broken neck, dying instantly. After his death, Dean became the first actor to receive a posthumous Oscar nomination for Best Actor for his role in East of Eden. The following year, he received a second posthumous nomination for his role in Giant, making him the only actor to receive 2 Oscar nominations after his death. Cary Grant was one of the most iconic stars of classic Hollywood, known for his distinctive mid-Atlantic accent, sophisticated demeanor, subtle comedic timing, and impeccable sense of style. Born Archibald Leach in Bristol, England, he had an unhappy childhood, marked by the absence of his mother and an alcoholic father. Grant married 5 times and had a daughter, Jennifer Grant, with his 5th wife, actress Diane Cannon. However, this marriage lasted only 3 years. Grant retired from acting in 1966 to lead a quieter life and pursued various business interests. Grant lived with costume designer Ori Kelly from 1925 to 1931 in New York's West Village before moving to Hollywood. He later lived with actor Randolph Scott for 12 years, starting in 1932. They met when Grant was just beginning his career at Paramount Studios, and Scott was already an established actor. Cary Grant passed away on November 29, 1986, from a severe stroke caused by high blood pressure at St. Luke's Hospital in Davenport, Iowa. Marlon Brando, born in Omaha, Nebraska, USA, is widely regarded as one of the greatest and most influential actors of all time. He was the biggest star among the method actors, and his stammering voice became a hallmark, embodying his rejection of classical acting training. In his iconic role as mafia boss Don Vito Corleone in The Godfather, Brando created one of the most legendary and often imitated characters in film history. Brando was also known for his turbulent personal life and complicated relationships with many lovers and children. He fathered at least 11 children, 3 of whom were adopted. Besides his rumored relationship with James Dean, Brando was also said to have been involved with Cary Grant, Montgomery Clift, Sir John Gielgud, and even Bob Dylan. In 1976, Brando told a French reporter, "These days, being gay is no longer surprising. Like many men, I have had homosexual experiences, and I do not feel ashamed." Brando passed away on July 1, 2004. due to respiratory failure from pulmonary fibrosis and heart failure at UCLA Medical Center. He also had diabetes and liver cancer. Ramon Novarro, a Mexican actor, began his career in American silent films. Born in Durango, Mexico, he became a global star after the release of Ben-Hur in 1926. Novarro had a passion for singing and toured successfully throughout Europe and South America. MGM promoted him as a Latin lover, and he became a sex symbol following the death of Rudolph Valentino. He was also the first Latin actor to achieve major success in Hollywood. However, Novarro struggled throughout his life with the conflict between his Catholic beliefs and his homosexual inclinations, a painful struggle that eventually led to his alcoholism. In the early 1920s, Novarro had romantic relationships with men. On October 30th, 1968, Novarro was brutally murdered by two brothers, the Fergusons, who had obtained his phone number from a former client. He was suffocated and died in this tragic attack. Anthony Perkins was an American actor, director, and singer, best known for his terrifying role in Alfred Hitchcock's Psycho. Rumors about his sexual orientation began early in his career, particularly when he appeared in the Broadway play Tea and Sympathy, where he portrayed a gay character. Perkins exclusively had romantic relationships with men until his 30s, including a 4-year relationship with actor Tab Hunter, an affair with artist Christopher Makos, and a 7-year relationship with dancer Grover Dahl. Perkins is said to have had his first experience with a woman at the age of 39, with an actress. He married Berinthia Barnson at the age of 41 and had 2 children with her. Despite his marriage, Perkins' bisexuality remained a part of his complex personal life, and he continued to struggle with his identity in the public eye. In the 1970s, Perkins decided to undergo conversion therapy, an unscientific method aimed at changing sexual orientation. Despite his struggles with his sexual identity, Perkins and Barnson kept their marriage intact until his death. Perkins kept his AIDS diagnosis a secret from the public for 2 years, and it wasn't until just weeks before his passing that he publicly acknowledged his illness. He died at his home in Los Angeles on September 12, 1992, from pneumonia related to AIDS. Spencer Tracy was known for his natural acting style and versatility, and he became one of the biggest stars of Hollywood's golden age. Throughout his career, Tracy appeared in 75 films and was regarded by his peers as one of the greatest actors of the screen. Tracy discovered his acting talent while studying at Ripon College and broke into the film industry in 1930. He married Louise Treadwell in 1923, and they had 2 children together, though they separated for 2 years before reconciling. However, their marriage became increasingly strained as Tracy frequently had affairs with his co-stars, including Joan Crawford. Starting in 1941, Tracy began a long-term relationship with actress Katharine Hepburn, which lasted until Tracy's death 26 years later. Tracy's adult life, marked by alcohol, smoking, and drug use, took a toll on his health as he entered his 60s. He frequently stayed at the home of director George Cukor, where he became close to Cukor's male friends. Tracy was also believed to have had a long-term relationship with actor John Derek, who appeared in The Kingsman. Tracy's health deteriorated significantly, and he died of a severe heart attack after being diagnosed with heart failure, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, diabetes, and kidney failure. Cesar Romero was an American actor and entertainer, born in New York City, who worked in film, radio, and television for nearly 60 years. Romero's roles spanned a wide range, including Latin lovers, historical characters, roles in period films, family comedies, and, most notably, as the Joker in the 1960s live-action Batman television series. He remained a lifelong bachelor and had no children, though he frequently appeared at Hollywood events alongside actresses such as Joan Crawford, Linda Darnell, Barbara Stanwyck, Lucille Ball, Ann Sheridan, Jane Wyman, Agnes Moorehead, and Ginger Rogers. Romero kept his sexual orientation private for much of his life, but it was rumored and later speculated that he had come out in a 1966 interview. On January 1, 1994, just 45 days before his 87th birthday, Romero passed away due to complications from a blood clot while being treated for pneumonia and pleuritis at St. John's Medical Center in Santa Monica, California. Montgomery Clift was an American actor, four-time Academy Award nominee, best known for playing sensitive, psychologically complex young men. According to the New York Times, Clift is most remembered for his role in Howard Hawks' Red River. He was known for his respect for privacy and the ambiguity of his personal life, although he was also very friendly and affectionate, particularly with his close friend Elizabeth Taylor. In 2000, at the GLAAD Media Awards, when Elizabeth Taylor was honored for her advocacy work for the LGBT community, she was the first to publicly acknowledge that Montgomery Clift was gay, calling him her closest friend. Clift had romantic relationships with both men and women, but his longest relationships were with men. He had a 3-year relationship with actor William Lena and a deep connection with Broadway choreographer Jerome Robbins. They concealed their relationship by dating women. Clift was also blackmailed through threatening calls, which forced him to change his phone number multiple times. Clift passed away from a heart attack on July 22, 1966, at his home in New York City. Clark Gable, often referred to as the King of Hollywood, was inspired to become an actor after watching the play The Bird of Paradise at the age of 17. However, it wasn't until he was 21 and received an inheritance of $300, equivalent to about $5,461 today, that Gable was able to pursue a career in acting. Gable was married 5 times and had several relationships with women. While filming The Call of the Wild in early 1935, leading lady Loretta Young became pregnant with Gable's child after an overnight train ride from a shooting location to Hollywood. There were rumors that Gable may have used sexual relationships to advance his career, and that he had relationships with actors such as Billy Haynes, Rod LaRock, and possibly even Montgomery Clift. Gable was uncomfortable while filming Gone with the Wind because director George Cukor knew about his past. However, midway through the production, Cukor was fired and replaced by Gable's friend, Victor Fleming. Gable was known for his conservative views and was an early member of the Motion Picture Alliance for the Preservation of American Ideals, a group formed to eliminate communist influence in the film industry. In November 1960, Gable passed away from a heart attack, just 10 days after recovering from a mild heart attack. Rock Hudson was one of the biggest film stars of his time, with a career spanning over 3 decades, and he was a prominent figure in Hollywood's golden age. He was best known for his role in Magnificent Obsession. As Hudson's career blossomed, he and his agent, Henry Wilson, worked tirelessly to keep his personal life hidden from the public eye. In 1955, Confidential magazine threatened to publish a story exposing Hudson's homosexuality. Wilson prevented this by divulging details about 2 of his other clients. According to some colleagues, Hudson's gay sex life was widely known in Hollywood throughout his career. However, the public remained unaware of this. Hudson was diagnosed with AIDS on June 5, 1984, 3 years after the disease first began to emerge in the U.S., and a year after initial conclusions about the disease were made. In the months that followed, Hudson kept his illness secret and continued to work, traveling to France and other countries in search of treatments, or at least ways to slow the progression of the disease. 2 days after arriving in Paris for treatment, he collapsed in his hotel room at the Ritz. Hudson's PR team issued a statement claiming he was suffering from inoperable liver cancer. Tab Hunter was an American actor, singer, film producer, and author, famous for his blonde hair and handsome looks. He appeared in over 40 films during the 1950s and 1960s and was a major Hollywood heartthrob. Hunter publicly acknowledged his homosexuality in his 2005 memoir. According to William L. Hamilton of the New York Times, reports detailing Hunter's romantic relationships with close friends like Debbie Reynolds and Natalie Wood in his early adulthood were actually products of Hollywood's public relations machinery, designed to maintain his image as a heartthrob for his audience. Hunter had a long-term relationship with actor Anthony Perkins after they met at the Chateau Marmont while filming Friendly Persuasion in 1956. Their relationship lasted from 2 to 4 years, and Hunter stated that they only broke up due to the constraints of the Paramount studio system. On July 8, 2018, just 3 days before his 87th birthday, Hunter passed away from cardiac arrest due to complications related to deep vein thrombosis, according to Hunter's husband, Alan Glazer. Hunter's death was sudden and unexpected. Randolph Scott had a film career in Hollywood that spanned from 1928 to 1962, becoming one of the leading men of his time. Scott appeared in a wide variety of genres, including drama, comedy, musicals, adventure, war, horror, fantasy, and Western films. He was married twice. In 1936, he became the second husband of heiress Maran DuPont, the daughter of William DuPont Sr. Their marriage lasted 3 years, but produced no children. Despite their divorce, heiress kept the Randolph surname for nearly 5 decades until her death in 1983. Although widely known as a film star, Randolph Scott kept his private life very private and led a rather reserved life off-screen. He was close friends with Fred Astaire and Cary Grant. Scott met Grant while filming Hot Saturday, and the two later moved in together in a house in Malibu, which was referred to as Bachelor Hall. In 1944, Scott and Grant stopped living together, but they maintained their friendship for the rest of their lives. Randolph Scott passed away from heart and lung disease in 1987 at the age of 89 in Beverly Hills, California. He was buried at Elmwood Cemetery in Charlotte, North Carolina. Sal Mineo is best known for his role as John Plato Crawford in Rebel Without a Cause, a performance that earned him an Academy Award nomination for Best Supporting Actor at the age of 17, making him the 5th youngest actor in history to receive such a nomination. In a 1972 interview, Mineo publicly confirmed that he was bisexual. Mineo met British actress Jill Houth on the set of Exodus in 1960, where they played young lovers. Their relationship lasted for several years, and they became engaged for a time. However, according to Mineo's biography by Michael Greg Michaud, Jill Houth called off their engagement after discovering that Mineo had been involved in sexual relations with another man. At the time of his death, Mineo was in a 6-year relationship with actor and retired acting coach Courtney Burr III. On the night of February 12, 1976, Mineo returned home after a rehearsal for a play and was attacked by a mugger who stabbed him in the chest. Mineo was found in a state of severe blood loss in an alley near his home and was only able to walk a few steps before collapsing and dying instantly from blood loss at the age of 37. After an early theater career, Alec Guinness appeared in many famous comedy films. He began his stage career in 1934. Guinness married artist, playwright, and actress Marula Sylvia Salomon, and they had one son. He is said to have been arrested and fined 10 shillings, equivalent to $150 today, for homosexual behavior in a public restroom in Liverpool in 1946. However, this rumor did not spread widely until 8 months after his death, when it was reported that he was bisexual, but had kept this a secret from the public, with only family and close friends knowing. Guinness told a story in an interview about meeting James Dean and predicting Dean's death a week before Dean's fatal car accident in 1955. Guinness passed away on the night of August 5, 2000, at King Edward II Hospital in Midhurst, West Sussex, after being diagnosed with prostate cancer in February 2000 and liver cancer just 2 days before his death. Dirk Bogarde was an English actor, writer, and screenwriter, initially rising to fame as a romantic icon in films like Doctor in the House for the Rank Organization, before transitioning into art house films and becoming a symbol of European cinema. He wrote 7 best-selling memoirs, 6 novels, and a collection of press articles, mostly for the Daily Telegraph. Bogarde had a long-term relationship with Anthony Forwood that lasted nearly 4 decades. They lived together in the UK and later in France. Although Bogarde was openly gay in his later years, he had kept this part of his life secret during his career because homosexuality was illegal in the UK at the time, and contracts at Rank Studio included moral clauses, meaning he could have been fired if his sexuality became public knowledge. In November 1987, Dirk Bogarde suffered a minor stroke while Anthony Forwood, his long-term partner, was dying of liver cancer and Parkinson's disease. In September 1996, Bogarde underwent surgery on an artery and suffered a major stroke afterward, which left him paralyzed on one side of his body and affected his speech. After the stroke, he became reliant on a wheelchair. Bogarde passed away at his home in London from a heart attack on May 8, 1999, at the age of 78. Danny Kaye, famous for his comedic performances, distinctive puppetry, and humorous songs, married Sylvia Fine in 1940. Although they grew up in Brooklyn just a few blocks apart, they didn't meet until they both worked on an off-Broadway musical in 1939. They had a daughter and enjoyed a happy marriage until Kaye's death in 1987, with a brief separation in 1947 to 1948 when Kaye had an affair with Arden. However, in Donald Spoto's biography of Sir Laurence Olivier, it is revealed that the famous English Shakespearean star had a secret 10-year relationship with Kaye, underwent quadruple bypass surgery, and contracted hepatitis C from a blood transfusion. He passed away at Cedars-Sinai Medical Center in the early hours of March 3, 1987, at the age of 76, due to complications from heart failure, internal bleeding, and hepatitis C. Roddy McDowall, born in London, began his acting career as a child in England before moving to the United States when World War II broke out. He became famous for leading roles in films, and like many other young stars, McDowall successfully transitioned from a child star image to a mature actor, appearing in both Broadway productions and films. McDowall is best known for his roles in the Planet of the Apes series, where he portrayed the characters Cornelius and Caesar, becoming a figure akin to Andy Serkis today, but in ape costumes rather than using motion capture technology. In 1974, the FBI raided McDowall's home and seized his collection of films and television programs as part of an investigation into copyright violations. McDowall was never married and had no children. According to a famous Hollywood agent, Scotty Bowers, McDowall was one of his gay clients. McDowall had a several-year-long relationship with Montgomery Clift in the early 1950s. On October 3, 1998, McDowall passed away at the age of 70 from lung cancer at his home in Studio City, California. Dennis Osborne, a screenwriter, had cared for McDowall in his final months and said, "Everything was very peaceful, just as he had wanted." Charles Laughton trained at the Royal Academy of Dramatic Art in London and made his stage debut in 1926. In 1927, Laughton began a relationship with Elsa Lanchester, his co-star in a play, and they married in 1929. They became U.S. citizens in 1950 and remained together until Laughton's death. Laughton's bisexuality has been confirmed by many colleagues and is widely recognized by Hollywood historians. Scotty Bowers, the famous Hollywood fixer and prostitute, revealed in his memoir Full Service that Charles Laughton had been romantically involved with Tyrone Power, and that his sex life was primarily homosexual. Laughton's first relationship with a man was with a young actor named David Roberts, whom he met in 1941, and their relationship lasted until 1950. Elsa Lanchester, his wife, wrote in her memoirs that they did not have children because Laughton was gay. Laughton underwent surgery for a broken vertebra and was later diagnosed with spinal cancer. He fell into a coma and died on December 15, 1962, from kidney and bladder cancer. Tyrone Power, although a famous heartthrob known for his handsome looks, was also one of Hollywood's most eligible bachelors until he married French actress Annabelle. Annabelle stated that Zenick, likely referring to an agent or handler, could not stop Tyrone's love for her and had even suggested sending Annabelle to Europe to get her away from him, but she refused to leave him. Later, Zenick put Annabelle on a blacklist. Power was married 3 times and had relationships with several women, but according to Scotty Bowers, Power was more attracted to men, though women were always enamored with him. He had a relationship with Charles Laughton, his co-star in Witness for the Prosecution, and his lifelong best friend was Cesar Romero. In September 1958, while filming, Power suffered a severe heart attack, influenced by his hereditary heart condition and his heavy smoking habit. He smoked 3 to 4 packs a day. George Cukor was primarily known for his work in comedy and literary adaptations. In Hollywood, his sexuality was an open secret at a time when society was strongly opposed to homosexuality. Although he was discreet about his sexual orientation and never publicly acknowledged it, producer Joseph Manowitz stated, "At least once, during his reign at Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer, Cukor was arrested on moral charges, but studio executives helped him clear the accusations, and the records of the incident were never made public." In the late 1950s, Cukor began a relationship with a young man named George Towers, whom he financially supported for his education. By the mid-1930s, Cukor was not only recognized as a renowned director, but also an informal hub of Hollywood's gay culture. His home was famously known for hosting weekly Sunday afternoon parties, where discreet stars and young, attractive men often gathered. Cukor passed away from a heart attack on January 24, 1983, leaving an estate valued at $2,377,720. Raymond Burr had a long and successful career in Hollywood. He was once a chubby child, and this was a source of concern throughout his childhood, as he later recalled. "When you're a fat boy in public school, you're going to be picked on for it." His weight was always an issue when it came to landing roles, and later became a public concern when Johnny Carson began mocking him in his monologues on The Tonight Show. Burr married actress Isabella Ward on January 10, 1948, but the marriage lasted only a few months, and they divorced in 1952. Although Burr never publicly disclosed his sexuality during his lifetime, after his death, it was revealed that he had kept this part of his life private to protect his career. Dean Hargrove, the executive producer of Perry Mason, stated in 2006, "I always assumed Raymond was gay because he had a long-term relationship with Robert Benavidez. Burr was also a well-known philanthropist, donating large sums of money to charitable organizations and caring for foster children." He passed away on September 12, 1993, at his ranch in Sonoma County, California, after being diagnosed with terminal liver cancer. Thank you for watching. Please like this video and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss the next videos.